All right, it's a win. We don't argue with winning. We might look at it funny. We might cock our head and say, that was odd to watch, but we don't argue with it. Indiana gets the 84-66 win over the Maryland Terrapins, and I got to tell you the truth. If I had the misfortune to have been born in Maryland and then become a Maryland fan of basketball, tonight my head would be spinning around like Linda Blair's in The Exorcist. I could not watch any more of this basketball if I were a fan. That is the worst team maybe I've ever seen in the Big Ten. Certainly the dumbest team I've ever seen in the Big Ten. They are just horrific. They are chaotic. They play terrible defense. They just don't seem to have any grasp of any basketball fundamentals whatsoever. They yell at each other in timeouts, but I don't care. It's a win. So who gives a damn what Maryland does? I don't care. You don't care. Nobody cares. What we care about is that Indiana's 3-1 on the Big Ten season. And that's a good thing. They got Nebraska coming up next on Saturday. That's going to be an interesting game because this team functions much better at Assembly Hall than it does on the road. I mean, much better. It's a tale of two teams. Tonight in the first half, holy cow, was that night not very good. Yeah, yikes. Really bizarre. A 36-31 first half and then 48-35 in the second half. Indiana, Tucker DeVries. What kind of a coach's son is Tucker DeVries? How many bad fouls is he going to commit? He's just a walking foul machine. I've never seen a coach's son play like that. Usually they're they have great discretion as to when they commit their fouls. Tucker DeVries just like 3 fouls in the second half. He didn't give a damn. He's picking up another one. 2 fouls. They sit him in the first half. He comes back in the second half and just walks through a guy on the glass. I didn't get it. I mean, I don't understand that at all. Reed Bailey, man, that dude can get to the foul line. He is really good at getting to the foul line. And we learned this about Reed Bailey tonight. He does not like having his shit blocked when he's trying to get a dunk. He does not like getting blocked on his way to flush it. He got a little bit antsy after that, got a little bit red-assed, and went to war a little bit offensively and did some things immediately that showed you that he was trying to prove to people that he's not the white guy who's going to get his ish blocked, snuffed at the rim. Right? I like that. I wish we saw more of him like that. How about Trent Sisley? 3 points tonight, and the one was great, like a cut and right with a feed. Bam! I really like Trent Sisley. Have you heard me say that before? I like Trent Sisley a lot. I think he's going to be a hell of a player for Indiana. But Lamar Wilkerson, 6 points in the first half, pretty invisible overall, and then 18 in the second half. He had a bunch. I think he had 16 in the first 9 minutes of the second half. That was really good. That helped put this game away, and this game needed to be put away. You didn't want them hanging around. How about our old friend Miles Rice? Played 15 minutes, scored 2 points. Boy, do we miss Miles Rice. Not so much. We don't miss him when they're gone. I didn't miss him immediately. I forgot who he was. Just like Bryson Tucker, who we saw the other night play for Washington. Once they're gone, they're gone. This is what Indiana players do not understand when they're in Bloomington. We love them when they're there. We love them if they graduate. But if you come to Bloomington and you transfer, you're not part of the program. That file is deleted when you transfer from Bloomington. You're no longer one of them that we, think Indiana beating the teams they're supposed to beat. They can be in the upper part of the Big Ten by winning the games they're supposed to win. Maryland's a 500 team. Maryland's a 500 team against bad opponents. Maryland is not a 500 team in the Big Ten. They're going to be lucky to win 4 games in the Big Ten unless the guy who was out tonight comes back. Yikes. Who else is tired of Reed not finishing at the rim? He is who he is. Look, he didn't recruit himself, right? I mean, that's Darren DeVries. Darren DeVries brought him in. They needed size. They needed a tall guy, so they brought him in. He has some skill in putting the ball in the bucket. He can make free throws. Let's be glad for what we get from Reed Bailey. But I'm with you. When he turns, when he catches on the post, and he just starts banging and trying to drive his hips into the guy without any success, driving his hips into the guy defending him until a defender comes and pokes the ball away. That drives me crazy. I did not see that happen tonight, and I'm glad. This is an instant live post-game. Indiana victorious against Maryland, 84-66. We're brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry. Call Today's Dentistry. Make an appointment with the greatest dentist who's ever been, the great Dr. Mike O'Neill. Become a member today. Subscribe to win prizes. We got IU swag and IU swag. We got all this is like a gamer jersey. This thing's awesome. Going to be giving that away. We've got the Peach Bowl coming up on Friday night. I don't know what we're going to do. When IU wins the Peach Bowl, I don't know what we're going to do. Tomorrow night, we're rooting for Ole Miss because you don't want to play Miami. You'd much rather play Ole Miss. Let's go, great win. Hey, all wins are great wins, so I'm not going to argue with you there. Solomon Washington, I had about enough of that guy. I'd have been a little, who'd he look like? He looked like a combination of, who's the guy? Solomon Jones? Solomon Hill? Played for the Pacers back about 10 years ago. Solomon Hill, solo, and DeAndre Payton. Looks like a merging of those two players. This team is playing how they're supposed to. If they can continue to do that with the resources IU has, they'll be good. Hey, I don't know. What does that mean, how they're supposed to? They are too scattershot with the ball, and they need to move the ball a little bit better. They need to be a little bit more functional offensively for me. Defensively, they're not terrible. That game against Nebraska coming up on Saturday is going to be a little bit different for them. I hope that because they are a much better basketball team at Assembly Hall, I hope we see that on Saturday, or it's going to be a boat race. Nebraska is no joke. Nebraska is a pretty damn good team. And Indiana sometimes is. And sometimes, like tonight, they were not great. Tonight, they were okay. They were okay on the road. Maryland just sucks. Maryland's atrocious. Miles Rice has not been good at all. Hate to see it, but he made the choice. Hey, it wouldn't be any better for him if he'd have stayed. He is who he is. Connor Enright tonight, 16 points, 2 of 4 from beyond the arc. Indiana hit 8 of 25 after getting off to a really, really rough start. I think they were 1-9 at one point, which means they finished 7-16. That's pretty good. David says Tucker plays almost entitled. He needs his ass to sit on the bench for a bit. Foul machine, taking some bad shots. He's a good player, but he should be better. I think that's who he is. But I've got to tell you, like I've seen a lot of coaches' kids play, and usually they're limited offensively, but they are really, really heady. They're really, really smart. And Tucker DeVries is the opposite. He is a good offensive player who then does things on the floor where you think you're a coach's son. Have you been watching? Have you been in the gym? Have you paid attention? Do you listen to your dad at all? Or are you like the rest of us who never listen to our dads who are not our coaches? Tatum Connerway with 19 tonight. He was 2 of 6 from beyond the arc, 8 rebounds. He led the Hoosiers in rebounding. Tatum Connerway. What is he? 6'3" and about 130 pounds. How the hell does he lead in rebounding? What is going on with this team? How about Sam Alexis getting the start playing 12 minutes? I got to tell you, I don't think that his shots could find the rim with radar. He threw up a hook shot that missed the width of a ball to the right. I mean, I get when you're a little bit short and it rims out, a little bit long, it kind of clunks out, hitting that bracket. But you can't miss an almost uncontested hook and miss it that far wide right. I've never seen that. Tonight, Tucker DeVries, he was 2 of 7 overall, 1 of 6 from behind the arc. He hit that first one. That's what he did. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 fouls. Like, you can't play basketball like that. Nick Dorn, wow. Just kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know what that is. I'm curious about Nick Dorn. I'm curious about this entire team. Again, I am not arguing with winning. I'm just like, I hope that Darren DeVries, when he gets the high school guys that he's recruiting in, I hope he's recruiting people who understand how to play the game. I understand what this is. We talked about this earlier, not in this show, but in a previous show about IU basketball. Look, I would much rather have what's going on now, which is kind of confounding, to be honest, but 3-1 in the Big Ten, all right, I'll take that. I could see them being 3-3 in the Big Ten real quick, going up against Nebraska and then Michigan State. But, okay, steal one of those games and prove me wrong, boys. But when you look at the way this team, nobody was back, right? No scholarship players returned. And so you had to replay. So it's a little bit like 08-09, where you had Verdell Jones and Matt Roth and a bunch of guys, and you were just hoping to be a little bit competitive. Once in a while, they won one Big Ten game because Roth went nuts, hit a bunch of threes. I think it was 8 of 9 hitting threes. Shoot! I can still, the echoes of me yelling shoot are still reverberating in Indy. So that I would rather have this with 13 disparate guys trying to figure out how to play basketball together than I would, and of varying degrees of basketball acumen up here and physical kind of limitations. None. Well, Sam Alexis was at Florida. Other than that, Connor Enright, Tucker DeVries, they started at Drake. Tucker went to West Virginia with his dad. Connor went to DePaul to play for Holtman last year. Nick Dorn came from over here, and Lamar Wilkerson was over there. And Tayton Conaway was a JUCO Player of the Year, who then I think was a Sun Belt Player of the Year. You got guys from all over the place trying to figure it out, come together, play, and be successful. That's really, really hard. I would rather have them do that and have maybe an opportunity to enjoy some evenings like this one. This is not unenjoyable, except that Maryland offended my basketball sensibilities. I'd rather have that than, a bunch of well-meaning, undersized, underskilled, underabled players going out and losing every night while Darren DeVries and his staff get out and recruit it up and go get guys who can play. I love Sisley. Sisley's going to be really good. We're going to see about the other 2 guys who are coming in next year. And they're going to have transfers come in, but there are 2 high school players who are coming in. They may get some other high school players. As this program comes together, it's not going to be like Signetti. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like wave a magic wand, work for 4 months, and all of a sudden you got a national championship contender. It's going to be a little bit different. You need continuity. You need to teach people the game of basketball. You need to develop them, and you need to instruct them. Hold them accountable. Thank you very much, IUL. Very, very nice of you. Very nice. That's a wonderful outreach. Why not like Signetti? Because that just doesn't have, you can't. I've never thought you could do it in football, to tell you the truth. I don't think you can do it in basketball. Even if you bring together a bunch of guys like an all-star team, I don't think you can do it with just transfers. Indiana high school kids just win the state of Indiana in recruiting. David, that is hitting the nail on the head. I know that sounds really parochial, very provincial, but I am all about recruiting the state of Indiana because the coaching in the state of Indiana, and Drew Adams knows this on the staff, go get Indiana kids, and you're not going to have to teach them the finer points of the game. They know them. They've been in the gym working on them tirelessly for years. And so go get them guys. You want to get a couple of uber talents? Go get a couple of uber talents. That's cool. But build this thing right, develop a culture, teach people how to play the game of basketball, and hopefully teach people who've already been taught the game of basketball. All right. This is we're fine with this. I'm fine with this. I am not going to be impatient with Indiana basketball 48 hours before Indiana football plays in the Peach Bowl. Talk to me in a month. Maybe by then, I will stop feeling all this glow from football, kicking ass and taking names, and we will be a little more demanding of the basketball program. But I'm not going to yelp about a Big Ten road win. I'm just not going to do it. Decent prelude to a magic weekend. Now I'm off to Atlanta tomorrow afternoon. Go Hoosiers. Good for you, man. Get to Atlanta, represent. Does IU have a hockey team? They have a club hockey team. Good question. Bob Kravitz, one of the finest goaltenders in the history of Indiana club hockey. Robbie says, I'll take 12-3. Yeah, I'll take 12-3. Damn right. 4 for IU. Go IU. Yes, yes, yes. 27-17, IU beats Oregon. David, I think you're a little cynical about the Hoosiers. I think it's 33-17. Julian, can have a great night. Way to end it. Very, very nice, Charles. All right, we're still rolling a little bit. Signetti is getting the East Side Bloomington Post Office named after him. Is he? Did you see that Bob Knight? It may be Bob Knight Memorial Way, State Road 45, from the McDonald's at College all the way to Andy Moore Field or Fee Lane. That's going to be, I think the state legislature is going to pass some kind of edict renaming that Bob Knight Memorial Way. I think that's good and proper that that's going to happen. And I think it's good and proper that you and I have a great night. We will talk to you tomorrow morning. Breakfast with Kent, bright and early, right around 7 in the morning. Thanks to everybody who joined. Very, very nice of you. Again, at some point, sometime soon, we're giving away this absolutely stunning gamer, kind of a gamer, IU jersey. No name, but it cost me 150 bones at the Assembly Hall gift store yesterday. So there you go. Amen. Hi, Julie. Julie says hi right back. Rooting for Ole Miss tomorrow. That is right. I hate Lane Kiffin too. He's just an idiot. He is a smarmy, creepy guy who does everything in college football for the wrong reason. And that's terrible. To leave his team as they're fighting for a national championship, can you believe that? That's just hideous. Hideous human being. All right. Yes, go Ole Miss. It's better. I couldn't root. You know what? Tomorrow night, I wouldn't be able to root for Ole Miss if Lane Kiffin was still on the sidelines. I would root for Miami, knowing that Miami is a tougher opponent if Indiana makes it to the national championship game than Ole Miss. Miami, I don't want to play Miami. Miami's got dudes, lots of them, and they can get after the quarterback, and I don't need any of that action. Give me Ole Miss. Let's make a Big Ten, SEC, and have Indiana win that damn thing like 54-0. Can we get that done? Let's go. And that's not insufferable, by the way. That's just confident. And confidence plays. And you should be confident in Indiana. It's not insufferable. Insufferable would be if Indiana won like 28-26 on Friday night, and we were like, my God, this is terrible. A 2-point win. What the hell is going on? What is the matter with Curt Cignetti? That's insufferable. Expecting Indiana to win 33-17 on Friday night and then wanting them to play Ole Miss and wanting them to beat Ole Miss 54-0, that's not insufferable. That is confident. Kiffin is a snake. Today stole Washington's quarterback too. That doesn't bother me because I don't need Washington to be any better. But Kiffin is awful. Just a bad human being. I don't know how, if you're an athletic director for a Big Ten, SEC, whatever the university, hell, Sunbelt University, I don't know how you hire a guy who makes the decisions that Lane Kiffin makes in order to teach kids about football and life. I don't know how you do that. He has no morality to him. It's a shame that schools have said, and LSU, for God's sake, I mean, yeah, Brian Kelly, they've gone from Brian Kelly to Lane Kiffin. Jeez, oh, Pete. Like you go from just a hideous human being to a really hideous, just a better looking hideous human being, for God's sake. We'll talk to you tomorrow.